If there's one lesson that actually COVID-19 has taught all of us, it's surely the simple slogan, health is wealth. And yet, according to NITI Aayog's 2021 report, nearly 30% or rather 42 crore Indians do not have any kind of health insurance. Perhaps it's the time that you realize the value of health insurance. So today on to the ET Money show, we will decode health insurance, but rather we generally keep taking the annual premium way of taking an health insurance. But today we will be discussing on multi-year health insurance policy, its benefits and whether you should be buying one or not. Let's bring on board Mr. Siddharth Singhal, who is the business head of health insurance at policybazaar.com. Very good evening, Siddharth, and thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. So health insurance concept is actually not new, but we keep getting the stats that so many people still don't have the health insurance at place, but we generally pay our premiums on an annual basis. Firstly, for our viewers, would like to tell them what exactly is multi-year health insurance plan and what are the benefits that one gets taking in multi-year health insurance plan in comparison to the yearly renewal plan that generally most of us keep taking.
All right. First of all, good evening, Srishti. Thank you for having me on your show. I think it's a very important topic about the need for health insurance. COVID definitely has helped in terms of creating a lot of awareness, and we see a lot of demand coming in, specifically for health insurance, given the kind of bills that one has seen during the COVID times, and even after that also. When you go for surgery. So coming directly to the question, specifically, what is multi-year in a health insurance? So typically health insurance, you can, at the time of purchase or at the time of renewal of your policy, you can opt for three policy terms. You can purchase a health insurance for 1 year, you can purchase it for 2 years, and you can purchase it for 3 years. So there are multitude of benefits that one gets opting for a multi-year policy. So when I say multi-year, it includes a plan which is for 2 years and also the plan which is bought for 3 years. So the major benefit that the right upfront benefit that the person gets is that you get discount on a multi-year plan. So if you lock your premium for 3 years, so you can get up to 15% discount while you're purchasing the health insurance. So I think that's the first and the foremost benefit that a person gets while purchasing a multi-year policy. The second major benefit that a person gets is that you lock your premium. So what we've seen is, in last 1 year and, for some more time to come, a lot of health insurance companies have raised their premiums because obviously, the amount of claims have gone up. And, and also the COVID claims have gone up. So what we can see, and it's a very effective method for anyone looking to buy a health insurance, is to lock their premium by opting for a 3-year policy. So how it works is, let's say if today you purchase a policy for 3 years, so you already paid your premium upfront. So for next 3 years, even if the insurance companies raise their premium during that time, so you are kind of unaffected from that. So next 3 years, you absolutely have nothing to worry about, even if the premiums go up or anything. So you have locked your premium that way.
Okay, so multi-year health insurance is something that you take at the very first instance. You lock your premium for the next 2 or rather 3 years, and you continue with the same policy for the next tenure that you have decided. But Siddharth, because we are locking the health insurance policy for the next maybe couple of years, so just wanted to understand whether there is an EMI option available, because I understand that the premium amount will be a 2x or 3x rather. So all this amount has to be paid at the very first instance at the time of taking the policy, or one has the EMI option available as well?
So I think that's a very good question, Shrishti. So yes, there is a EMI benefit which is available. So you can actually split your premiums into a monthly mode, or in a quarterly mode, or in a half yearly mode. And these EMI options with a little bit of interest are available across your debit cards, credit cards, even net banking, etc. So so health insurance has become, earlier it used to be only an annual premium. Now, if you choose a multi-year policy, so you can avail a EMI facility as well, so that entire burden doesn't come, right upfront for the customer.
See, how
And
does
also,
it? Yeah,
sorry.
carry on, please.
Okay, and also see, one of the major important point is that purchasing a 3-year policy, so you it basically frees up from your yearly renewal. So if you're purchasing a policy today and for some reason you forgot to renew, you were outside the country or you were traveling, so you don't need to remember the yearly renewal. So since you have blocked your premium, you have bought a policy for 3 years. So automatically after 3 years, it'll be due for renewal. And again, after 3 years, you can continue for 3 more years. So one thing I wanted to kind of clarify also was, so at the time of fresh purchase also, you can opt for a multi-year policy or a 3-year policy. Even at the time of renewal as well. So for some reason, you did not opt for a multi-year policy previously, but if your policy is due for renewal now, so at the renewal time also, you can opt for a multi-year policy.
Okay, but Siddharth, this health insurance also has a tax benefit along with that. In normal cases, when we have the yearly renewal plan, we do claim the tax benefits. But when it comes to the multi-year health insurance policy, because we have that EMI option as well, so how does it exactly works? Like the claims has to be settled in the first year itself, or is there some staggered manner when you can actually claim your health insurance benefits, as well as in respect to the EMIs that we are paying, how does it exactly works? Just wanted to understand on that.
Sure. So I think it's a very good question related to tax advantage. So opting for a multi-year policy. So let's assume somebody opts for a multi-year policy of 30,000 rupees. For a 3-year premium is 30,000 rupees. Now, as we are all aware, that Section 80D gives you a tax benefit of up to 25,000. So a person can choose claim the tax benefit, divide the amount of 30,000 in 3 years, and can claim 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 in year 1, year 2, and year 3. So if your tax liability is getting reduced by splitting into 3 years, so I think that's a better option to go, even if you're paying a higher premiums. So and if, let's say, the second scenario would be if your health insurance premium for 3 years is less than 25,000. So if somebody is a very young customer and paid less than 25,000 in for 3 years, so that person has the benefit. They can claim the entire tax amount of, let's say, 25,000 in 1 year, or they can choose to split that 25,000 into 3 years. So the benefit that the tax gives you, or the multi-year policy gives you, is you can split that whole premium amount across 3 years, or you can choose to claim it in 1 year. So it depends on whatever gives you the best tax saving. So I think that's how it is. On the EMI front, even though it's a EMI, so irrespective of whether you have taken a policy on EMI or not EMI, so you can still claim the tax benefit as you were claiming it earlier itself.
Okay, understood. That was helpful. But Siddharth, sometimes after taking the health insurance policy, people go for a top-up plans as well. So just wanted to understand, how does it work when it comes to the multi-year policy? Because we have already locked in our premium prices at the very first year itself. So if I want to top up at the in the second year, maybe, or maybe in the third year, so is there an option available, or the customer just has to stick with that?
Multi-year is just basically locking your term. Your policy is active for 3 years. You can choose to opt for a top-up policy anytime, either during when you're making the first purchase or during these within 3 years. So typical concept of a super top-up policy is it's a separate policy, and it gets kicked in when the claim amount goes very high. So if let's with the help of example, if somebody has only a 5 lakh cover and has bought a 3-year plan, right? So, and we know that 5 lakh cover may not be sufficient if you're a person with a family and living in a city like Delhi, Mumbai. So, and if this person chooses to go for a 95 lakh super topper, so he's just to buy another policy, and it's a very cost effective policy because it's a super topper, right? So the premiums could be in very, very low thousands only. It could be, as low as maybe 1,500, 2,000 rupees yearly. Uh, so how it works is that, the first 5 lakh, if there is a claim of, let's say 15 lakhs, the first 5 lakh will have to be paid from your first policy, which is already active. And once you've exhausted that 5 lakh, the another 10 lakh claim will be paid from the super topper policy. So concept of super topper is very simple. It gives you a very high coverage at a very low premium, and acts as a booster or acts as a supplement when you want a very high sum insured at a very low cost, right? So even if you have purchased a 3-year policy or a 2-year policy, you can still buy a super top policy and complement it with your existing policy.
Okay, so this is something that you can actually complement with your existing policy, is what you're trying to make a point there. But Siddharth, you did touch upon, while giving an example, like who generally get into taking these multi-year policies. Just wanted to know from you, like which age group or which profession is actually advised to go for these multi-year health insurance policies. What will be your recommendation, because you have been into this business for long? So what will be the advice for all our viewers?
See, I think one and the foremost is that multi-year policies can be availed by anybody and actually are most recommended, given that a lot of insurance companies have already raised their premiums, and some are going to raise their premiums soon. So I think the best strategy for the customer right now is to opt for a zero down on a plan and opt for a multi-year. Now, coming specifically to age groups, where a lot of insurance companies raise prices when the age slab changes. What I mean by age slab is typically if you're turning 45, or if you're turning in the multiples of 5, if you're turning 50, turning 55, turning 60, right? So I think at that particular point in time, multi-year makes a lot of sense, because you can lock your premium, which is going to anyways, increase the next year. So I think those age slabs or those customers who are at the cusp of a age slab change, or very near 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, etc. I think for them it makes a lot more sense to kind of go for multi-year. But and also otherwise, if you're planning to purchase a health insurance, so my recommendation is to go for a multi-year policy altogether, because it gives you a lot of advantages. It gives you the discount upfront. It locks your premium even in case there is a price increase next year, and it's available on the EMI option. And most importantly, you can avail the tax benefit as you like. You can avail the tax benefit in lump sum, or you can split that into 3 years as well.
With this, we let you go on that. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for joining us today on ET Now and helping our viewers understand what exactly is multi-year health insurance policy and what are the benefits that you should be looking out for, and why you should think when in comparison to your yearly renewable plans for health insurance. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Srishti.